Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Zach Fields.
And I am Dalton Young. Today we're going to be going over some of the problems with the country of Senegal and how we can fix them.
That's right, Dalton. We're going to go over both economic and just basic problems with the country.
Let's go over some of the basic details of the country.
It's a small country in Africa that was founded in 1960 with a population around 60 million people, and they run on a republic government, and they use West African CFA as currency.
They have the largest military in the African plain, with a culture that relies mainly on music and other art forms. They hold that kind of stuff high. It has the climate with dry winds, tropics, low pressure, humid weather, and on average the high is 81 degrees and the low is 63 degrees year round.
That doesn't sound too bad, but from what I've seen, the hottest day recorded is 106, plus the humidity, constant droughts make it miserable.
Oh, the droughts are over there pretty bad, and as most people, at least I know, they hate humidity.
I know they do.
Because it's really sticky.
I think just about everyone hates humidity, unless you live in maybe Canada or
it's really sticky. So when you go outside, it's like, ugh, can't breathe.
It's really only sticky if you sit on leather.
Yeah. But anyway, now let's get to the main source of the country's income and utilize those resources to bring some more money.
And what exactly are those main resources, Dalton?
Well, believe it or not, it's peanuts.
Seriously?
Peanuts. Mostly peanuts.
What type of peanuts?
Peanuts.
I mean, there's multiple types of peanuts.
There's peanuts.
Okay.
But along with that, there's also phosphate. They have sugarcane. They grow sugarcane. Small amounts of oil. And tourists, even though that tourists don't really come over there much. I said tourist, not terrorist.
I know. How do you plan to use these resources to make more money for the farmers and for the miners and all of them?
Well, while it may seem simple as saying, "Hey, let's
fix it.
Let's fix it. Let's
yeah,
and let's make more. Let's make more. Do this. Make more." It's actually not like that easy, believe it or not. We had to have more farmers, and farmers and miners are already the lowest paid. Well, farmers especially are some of the lowest paid jobs in the country.
Yeah, and they don't know when they're going to get their paycheck.
Yeah.
If they do.
Yeah, if they do get their paycheck, because their paychecks are often held back sometimes, and that can take a tremendous toll on the country.
Should we look at the pay rate per capita to demonstrate how low the pay really is?
Oh yeah, it's a really good idea. As you can see, the pay rate right here. This is what the average person gets over there. It's pretty low. I mean, the country's economy is pretty low in general.
Yeah, the country's actual rank is 117th in the world.
Yeah, that was 117th.
An overall economy with an overall rate of 56.3 is shown here.
See how cool that is, though? Let's point up here and see graphs.
Go.
See graphs?
I know. The graphs randomly appear. Just go.
And the peanuts did, too.
Oh, my gosh.
But the country's best economic rating was in 1999. That was rating at 60.6, which averages up to 61%. 1999 2003 was their best economic time, and the following graph shown right here.
Let's take a look at the unemployment rate. Now, from what I've read, the unemployment rate is really low.
It's not really low. It's actually pretty high.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's really high, not
It's
low.
pretty high.
I was thinking of the GDP.
Because people find it hard to get jobs over there because of lack of education, as you can see here.
Lack of education, lack of job requirement.
Mostly farmers over there in the country.
Yeah, it's mostly farmers. And most of the place is farmland, but they don't have the soil to do it.
Yeah, the soil is not really best. That's why they grow sugarcane and peanuts.
Now, let's take a look at the unemployment rate over the years.
Oh, yeah. As you can see here, like I said, the employment rate is pretty high. Not many things over there.
Now, let's fix some of these problems. It's going to take some time, as you know. This won't just fix itself, like you say so, like snap.
Yeah,
it's not going to Thanos.
It's not going to Thanos and make stuff, which, like, this. Okay, there we go. That thing happened. That's exactly right, though. But back to the point of utilizing their resources, we would have to hire more farmers and miners. And in order to do that, we would have to lessen the requirements to be one and get some of these discouraged workers on their feet. You know, there's a lot of people over there.
There's a lot to help them.
There's a lot of people over there who have their dreams crushed and just say, forget it, I'm just going to sit here and starve.
Or some people that are able to save up through their farming years to let their children go to school so that they don't have to suffer through the same thing as they did.
They don't really have too high standards for those jobs compared over some of the standards they have. Like,
I mean, yeah, they don't have too high standards for those jobs, as you said. But
really,
the more workers, the more resources you can get.
Really, yeah, like really the only requirement to be a farmer over there is just be big, strong. But the average,
not entirely.
But like the average Senegal citizen lives on $1.75 a day, stated by this website right here. There's the link. A day, like that's what pretty much, you don't exactly make $1.25 a day, but dividing their paycheck among the week, it's $1.25 a day pretty much. You can only imagine how low they're paid over there. Plus, money has a high value, so kind of compare it to apples, like Mr. Sayer says.
The only reason that money is so valuable over there is because of how they don't make too much of it, do they? Like, the country itself doesn't make that much money.
Well, it's because they can't really make much money because they don't earn that much money.
Yeah, they don't earn that much money.
Most of their thing, like I've said 100 times, most of their money comes from peanuts. So
I hate that you've said it 100 times. Or are they, because most of the workers in the country are farmers because of the lack of education and literacy, also stated by this website?
Oh yeah, and there's also this graph that's the literacy rates. Most people can't read over there. Literacy is a huge problem because in order to fix that problem, we'd have to make sure students in the school understand what's being taught to them. That's often a problem because in order to be a teacher over there, literally all you need to do is be able to read. And in this country, school isn't exactly free. And when students do go to school, they don't catch on right away because the teachers they haven't really trained for teachers. As over here, we have college for teachers. They just like, all right, can you read? Yeah. All right, you're a teacher now.
Well, and from what I've heard, most students also just drop out in general. They drop out because they don't understand it and they
they get frustrated. It's like, all right, you know what? Just forget about it. I'm gonna quit school, be a farmer. But yeah.
While it seems as easy as just making school free, you can't exactly do that.
No, you can't exactly make school free because
teachers' pay would go down with the emissions fee.
Yeah, a little bit because they make some money off the emission fees over there, and the government pays them most of their paychecks. But I do believe that the teachers' pay should get cut for that sake of the emission fees. They're not making school completely free. Cut the emission fees way down so that more people could go over there and go to school so they can learn to read and write and stuff.
If the emission pay got cut, teachers will make $5 less a day.
Yeah, that's about.
And to them, that's what, $500?
Just about for like month. That's a huge pay cut.
That's a huge pay cut to them. To us, that's not.
Yeah, but that's why I say don't exactly cut the whole thing out. Like cut most of it out though.
Unless you work in fast food, that's not that much.
Yeah. But they still receive enough money to get them through the days and through their life and the month until they get their next paycheck. Even though it will be a slight struggle, but they can get through.
With more people going to school, literacy rates would go up.
Yeah, and
there would be more teachers.
Yeah, more teachers and doctors, and better qualified teachers, better doctors, and people get trained for certain jobs like construction workers, government officials.
Which brings us to the diseases they face in the country, like HIV, AIDS, malina, and water-related sickness.
It doesn't matter how you pronounce that disease. No one knows how to pronounce it. But the water-related sickness is due to unclean water because, as you can see here, this is just a random creek that they probably drink out of. They literally just get a big old bucket and put it on their heads, take it back to the country or village, and divide it among their family. They don't really clean the water that much. It's pretty much just creek water.
So does that mean they need to fund more hospitals and the others like HIVs and AIDS? They aren't able to get resources to treat that.
Yeah, they don't really get a hold of things. Same with like the mosquito-related sicknesses. They don't have what's necessary to treat it either. Like we do here, we have stuff to treat things like shots and antibiotics and things, but not really like here.
But in order to put more funds in the system, we have to rely on the money brought in by extra farming and mining. We were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. But in order to get more staff and stuff, like, but before I get to the staff stuff, you could say that we need to fix one thing at a time. One thing might take a while to fix, and in order to fix something, other things need to be fixed first. You know, like, you can't just be like, all right, fix it, and it doesn't work that way.
I know.
It's like you fix one thing, give it some time to fix itself.
Give it some time to let people adjust to it.
And then you start, once it cools down and it becomes normal, then you start fixing something else.
But the pay gap is huge between men and women, as seen here.
Oh yeah, it's pretty big. The country is mostly free when it comes to freedom of speech, religion, and things along those lines. No really race problems, even though there's race problems around the world. But the pay gap is just huge, as you can see. Yeah,
the pay gap between men and women, it's ridiculous. Because women that don't have wives but have kids, or not wives, husbands
that have kids,
but that have kids, aren't able to provide for them unless they're able to maybe go farming.
Oh yeah.
Or unless the oldest decides to try and support the family.
Oh yeah. And even if like the law is passed, it could take a couple years for people to get used to. Because most people that are in the country are men, and they're like, okay, I don't want a pay cut. What the heck? I don't want.
They don't want a pay cut. They want to be the only ones to provide for their.
It's like because like the men would have to get a slight pay cut in order for the women to get paid equally.
Yeah, because they don't want women to have money. Because they don't want women to have jobs. They want women to stay home and take care of the kids.
Yeah. Well, while we're on money, though, let's move on to the GDP. As you can see here, it's pretty decent, but you got to compare apples to apples again. Their money has a lot of value over there, so.
Yeah, it's the GDP as far as they're doing. It's fine, but it's not that great.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's fine, but let's look at something that's not that great. Let's look at their financial freedom. As you can see here, they have to like pick one thing instead of doing the other, and it's like they have to be afraid whether they're gonna survive the month or not, because most, like I said, they live on like $1.25 a month. So
I mean,
not a month, but a day.
Yeah, that's very true. The income per person is low in the country, as seen here in this graphic, and that makes it hard for financial decisions without stressing over whether you're going to get paid or you're not, and you're going to have to live on maybe a penny or $1 a day.
But let's end this whole thing on a positive note, and let's look at something that they're doing pretty good at. Their trade freedoms is near the average, as you can see here. The world average trade freedom is 75%.
75, and they're really sitting at 72.
Yeah, 72%. Right there is theirs, and there's the other one.
And probably the only reason it's at 72 is because, as you said, maybe 1,000 times, is the peanuts.
No, yeah, it's the peanuts.
Peanuts, sugarcane, and phosphorus.
Peanuts.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly peanuts. All right, with all that being said, let's end it on this. The country all around, it does need some help. We only went over a couple things that they have problems with, but
a couple of the major things.
A couple of the major things. We did do that. But with all this being said, Senegal is one of the poorest countries in the world. Like I said, like we figured out, it's 117th in the world when it comes to economic
use.
Yeah, okay, but like that. Yeah, Senegal. But this was just some of the things we could help to fix it, and we need more peanuts. Life lesson. You need more peanuts.
They need more farmers and stuff too.
Yeah, and a lot of jobs and all that.
They need a lot more jobs.
Well, this is Zach Fields, and I'm Dalton Young.
Peace.
Peace out. And remember, if you're eating a peanut, must have came from Senegal.
See ya.